So I'll be driving you guys through the Jenkins session for the next 45 minutes. So let's have some fun with Jenkins and we can share some knowledge. So let's start with the agenda. So what all the things involved going forward in this presentation and over the 45 minutes, and what all the topics to be covered, and how deep they are going to cover. So let me share you the agenda first. So coming to the agenda here. So initially, so I'll be introducing you what is DevOps means, because Jenkins is one of the tools from the DevOps family, and the other one will be the overview of CICD. So why we use Jenkins, that's we are going to I'm going to explain you on a very high level. And before going to Jenkins, so I'm going to explain you why we actually use Jenkins and what are the scenarios we use Jenkins. And and next, finally, we'll jump into the Jenkins session, like introduction, like how we what is actually Jenkins mean. And obviously we should know the history of any tools or any technology to know better about the tool or technology. And next, I'll be explaining on the basic fundamentals on Jenkins and the uses, because fundamentals are the ones which will help you to understand better on any tool or technology. So next, I'll be introducing you to the advanced concepts in Jenkins. Again, for every tool, we will have a basic concepts. The other one is the advanced one. So I'll be explaining you what all the advanced concepts in Jenkins. And next, there will be another called Jenkins administration, like how we administer Jenkins, and that is how we manage Jenkins. And next, what is actually the plugin means and how we manage plugins in Jenkins and why we use plugins. And followed by Jenkins pipelining, Blue Ocean, and a small use case, a small Jenkins, like I will show you physically how Jenkins looks like, and career path and job opportunities. So once we adapt Jenkins or once we learn Jenkins, so what all the windows open for you in your career path. So those things I'll be explaining you on. So let's jump in, like what is DevOps and introduction to DevOps and why we need DevOps for Jenkins. So when we work on any project or when we work for any development, software development life cycle, so there is some certain pattern we need to follow, or there is some certain I can say there is some certain the steps or the some frames we need to follow. So those things we have categorized into development and the operations. So why development and operations means, if we get some requirement for some application or some requirement, so we need development team which will develop the product, and we need the operations team which will do the implementation of the developed product. And you guys will be getting confused, like, so where is the testing in between? So in DevOps, the concept, the testing includes as a part of dev. So dev comes along with the developers and the testers, and whereas ops, it comes with the operations team, like post deployment and maintenance. Now, coming to DevOps on a very layman language, it is some set of practices, or it is some set of culture which the team follows or the organization follows to get faster life cycle or faster deliveries. So now, as a part of DevOps, we include some certain pattern, like first how we should proceed. So for every development or for any sort of application, first we should plan it, and once we plan it, we should code, and then the code should be built and followed by test, and then release, deploy, operate, monitor. Plan, code, build, test comes under the dev bucket, and release, deploy, operate, and monitor comes under the operations bucket. What we are doing by introducing DevOps is we are bringing the teams closure. We are bringing the development team and testing team closure, and we are building a bridge between the development and the operations team, like post deployment and the development. So we are developing a bridge so that every member in our development team, testing team, and operations team will know what is going across the organization or across the product. So further, we implement DevOps, and DevOps brings lot of other benefits as well. So those things we are not going to discuss on here, but yeah, our main focus will be on the Jenkins. So this is a very high level on DevOps. Now let's move to the CI/CD. So I have explained you like what is development team and what is testing team and what does they do and what is operations team. Let me bring in a more little forward. Let me go a little forward and bring you few more topics in between, like adding some spice. So now we got an overview of CI and CD. Okay. Now here, if you see on the two arrows, the one with a continuous integration and the other one is a continuous delivery. Now, what is integration and what is delivery and why we are actually referring them here? Now, as I already mentioned, so any organization follows some certain pattern for developing any product. Now, while developing a product, so what sort of methodologies we use and how do we use, those will be the key for any success development or success teams. Now, bringing to the continuous integration, continuous delivery. Now, continuous integration is something when a one developer or some hundreds of developers do some sort of development of the product, they will push the product into some location where we calculate the versions of the product. So that is what we called SCM, source code management. So developers mainly work on source code, and the tool which will manage the source code is called source code management tool. And you guys might have seen like a GitHub, a Bitbucket, GitLab, SVN. So these sort of tools are called source code management tools, which will manage the code. Like what is managing actually? So when you say a managing, so you can take a simple example like if you are going to some restaurant, there will be a manager. So what does he do? So he will check how many customers are coming inside and he will take a note. So similar way, how many pieces of code are coming into the tool, the source code manager will take a note. Thus, those notes are called as a versions. Like for example, today I have committed maybe one piece of code like A. Now A will be pushed into the source code manager. That can be anything like GitHub, SVN, GitLab, Bitbucket. What happens immediately when I push the code there? Now this it will start noting like, okay, this code has been pushed by so and so developer and at so and so time, and these are the changes been done, and this is the version as a shortcut number I'm giving for my reference. So those sort of managing from the source code management tool is called integration. By implementing DevOps, what we do is we do continuous. Now I'm referring to a single person, one person. But in future, if I get some 100 persons and they will be parallelly working on, and 100 persons will be pushing 100 times a day per person, like there will be some sort of 1,000 pushes or 1,000 commits a day. So entire 1,000 commits will be managed by the source code manager. Those management can be done by any tool, but what is the actual thing of continuous integration? Now whenever I push the code, now this should be on a continuous fashion, not like a one after the other, or it should not wait for any dependencies. So like there should not be any dependencies, so it should be continuously integrated when I push some code. So further, what we do is we use Jenkins as a one medium or one mechanism which will bring this tool closure and it will show us the progress. Further, we use continuous integration. Now coming to the continuous delivery. So what is delivery means? So delivery is something we give a product, right? So delivery is something we give a product. For example, if you take a Swiggy or if you take any online order, so they will do a delivery, means they will give a product and they will, to the end customer, they will give a product. So similar way, continuous delivery means the the product will be continuously given to the end user. Now in this case, continuous integration, we got code, test and build. So once we build it, so releasing and deploying comes under the continuous delivery. So this is a high level on CI and CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery. Now let's go to the introduction of Jenkins now. So now you got an idea like what is DevOps and what is CICD. Now you will you will be more it will be more easier for you to understand what is Jenkins does and how does it work. So I can directly jump into the functionality, but still we should need some introduction regarding the tool and some history. So let's talk about for a few minutes and then we can directly jump into the functionality parts. Let's talk about Jenkins. So firstly, Jenkins is, if you hear anywhere, so Jenkins, everyone mentions one thing like Jenkins is an open source tool. Let me start from there. So Jenkins is an open source automation server that allows us to design continuous integration and continuous delivery patterns for our projects. Like for example, I have some 20 to 30 projects under my bucket. Now I need a mechanism or I need a server or automation server which can manage them timely. Time to time it will manage and it will show us the progress. So for that, I can use Jenkins as an open source automation server, which will manage my continuous integration, continuous delivery of the projects. Now, how does it do? It does based on the capability Jenkins is having to integrate with wide range of testing and deployment tools. Now, it defines that Jenkins is having a capacity to integrate with any sort of tools, that is from the testing, that is from the deployment. Now what is integration actually? Now continuous integration means integrating a pieces of code. Now here Jenkins allows integration with wide range of tools means Jenkins connecting to other tools. It's like a connector. So Jenkins provides the connectors with different tools. Means for example, if I'm working on somewhere like I'm working on mainframes or environment, or I'm working on some .NET environment, or I'm working on some Java environment, okay, and I'm using Jenkins. Now Jenkins don't show any sort of any sort of limitations, like I cannot do integration with your Java application, or I cannot do any integration with your .NET application. So that's where Jenkins is a good partner for every DevOps engineer. Like Jenkins can integrate with any technology or any tools. So Jenkins don't have any limitations. It has uh, almost cover all the tools. So it has a wide range of capacity for integrations. Now coming to the platform. So where can I run Jenkins? So Jenkins is a very friendly tool. You can run anywhere. It can be Windows, it can be Linux, it can be Mac, it can be Docker containers. So you can run on any platform except mobiles or Androids. Okay, might be you might get that versions in the future release, might be. So now Jenkins can run on any platform, that can be Windows, Linux, Mac, Docker, and it should need Java. Okay, so it should definitely need Java because Jenkins is developed on top of Java. So Jenkins is developed on top of Java, so it should need Java as a backbone. So once you have Java installed on your platform, you are free to run Jenkins. If you want to do some sort of any modifications in Jenkins, it provides that capacity as well. It provides a source code for you where you can do any sort of modifications. Like if you want to change your logo, Jenkins logo, or if you want to change some sort of code, or if you want to change the uh, source code of Jenkins, you can do that. That is publicly accessible in GitHub. Okay, this is the introduction on Jenkins. Now let's come to the history. Jenkins was originated in 2004. That's been long back. And earlier name of Jenkins was Hudson. Now has been lot of development has been done and lot of contributions has been done for Jenkins. And currently we are running Jenkins on version 2.263.1. That's for long-term support. And if you want a weekly support, that will be somewhere around 2.263 or 267. So if you see here, the left side is older Jenkins UI, and on the right side it is the newer version of Jenkins UI. So there are a lot of improvements are going on, lot of contributions are going on, and lot of modifications, a lot of functionality changes are going on to make it Jenkins more and more capable of handling any sort of environments or any sort of challenges. Let's go with the fundamentals, because basic fundamentals, I mean, fundamentals are the back for any tool. So we should know the fundamentals and we should be aware of the fundamentals. Now, what are the fundamentals being covered and what are the usages that's been covered? The one thing is, again, Jenkins is platform independent. So we don't need to worry on, like, if I'm a Windows engineer or Windows developer, and my clients are using Linux. So I'm developing everything on Windows, and how can I use that on Linux? No, you can use that. So that's what we call as a platform independent. Now it is developed on top of Groovy language. So Groovy is similar to JavaScript, okay, and it is very easy to work on, and you can easily learn Groovy language, and Groovy language we should know to run any Jenkins application of functionalities. Now it provides a wide range of automation scope using plugins. So we have lots and lots of plugins which we can integrate in Jenkins. Any sort of plugins you'll get plugins for IBM tools, you'll get plugins for Atlassian tools, you can get plugins for open source tools, any sort of tools, database tools, anything. So it is a best part in Jenkins that it provides a lot of plugins. Now it provides varieties of job, because we as a human we always expect a lot of varieties for any tool, or for any if you go for any dinner you need a lot of varieties. So the similar way Jenkins also provides a lot of varieties of jobs configuration. So like it's a freestyle, pipeline, multi-branch pipeline, Maven style, a lot of job configurations it provides. Integrations. If you see here, it will integrate via using API. The application which you want to integrate from Jenkins, you should need a API, or you should need a CLI, command line interface client. The best part to reveal is Jenkins supports multiple cloud platforms. Now it can be integrated with GCP, it can be integrated with Azure, AWS, OpenStack, and legacy applications like mainframes. Okay, so you can integrate with any tool, any cloud environment. You can integrate with Alibaba cloud as well, and you can integrate with DigitalOcean. So any cloud you can integrate it. So what are the advanced concepts I was mentioning in the agenda? So the one thing is, if for example, if I am working like you have already known, like sharing is caring. So the similar way Jenkins provides a sharing, which means if I am developing some functionality, I can share across with my team. Like today, I have written one functionality, like I was doing some A to B functionality. Now, tomorrow might be some of my other team members need that functionality, might need. So those sort of sharing we can do, like functions, we can place it somewhere in the source code manager, and that thing we can call it from across the jobs. So if you see here on the right side, we have pipeline job A, pipeline job B, pipeline job C. If you see the integration there, that integration is called a shared library. Now shared library, what it does is generally it will hold all the libraries in place. It can be used across any pipeline job. Now that's the best thing, because tomorrow if I do some development, now it should not end with me, because it should be something like a reusable pattern. So Jenkins provides a reusable pattern that is called a Jenkins global library. So it's like a source code retrieval method, and it can be placed in a source code manager, and it can be called across the pipelines. Like for example, I have A, B, C, D, four teams, and A team has developed something uh, which is magical, like it is having a very big functionality. B, C, D, the other teams can use that. So that's how it can be used. So coming to the next advanced concepts. Now Jenkins allows us to write our own functions or libraries. Like for example, if I go to some other tools, Like they provide us the functions and we need to use them.